This is a eulogy for Charlie Kirk, a very important day, bigger than the Super Bowl, worldwide, as I just said on Newsmax TV prior to the actual event beginning. Charlie reached not only across the aisle, but across. And I think that I want to add a few things right now on these channels to what I just said at the actual stadium event via satellite and broadcast. I'm going to add a little politics to this discussion. And let me begin with the political first. No, let me begin with the religious first. May the memory of the righteous be a blessing. That is what is said in my tradition. May the memory of the righteous be a blessing. Let me get political. He was a godly force for millions. He brought young people together in their desire for a nation of, and he was taken from the world as a martyr. Make no mistake about it. This is what the word martyr means. But we mustn't forget, for Jesus and Christianity, that was the furnace, and his love for his fellow man were his arrows. And now I'm going to say something political that has not yet been said. I've not read it anywhere. I try not to repeat what others say. What's the point of speaking if it's been said before? And as the Bedouins have a saying, you cannot improve upon the silence of the desert, remain silent. I will try to improve upon the following statement. But implications that he was not assassinated by this lone gunman, we don't know if that's true or false. And there are all conspiracy theories, including Israel, of course. The Jews always did everything wrong, according to the anti-Semite. But I want to make a point that I think is extremely important. Whoever killed him wanted to divide evangelical Christians from Jews in the state of Israel. In other words, if you want to go into the conspiracy theory of why he was assassinated, if it was not just a lone gunman, the greatest supporters of Israel in the United States of America, it wasn't the Jews. It was not the Jews who were the greatest supporters of Israel in this country. Liberal Jews never supported Israel, never. The very religious Jews support Israel, totally and absolutely, but they're a small minority. The greatest supporters of Israel in this country were the evangelical Christians. Now, I don't believe Charlie was an evangelical Christian in regard of the sect of Christianity, but he was an evangelist. And whoever listened to him knew that he supported the state of Israel. Now, how better to divide and take away the strongest portion of Charlie's base, of Israel's base, than taking away an evangelical leader like Charlie Kirk, and then turning it on the Jews and saying they did it, and having morons say that, yeah, he did it. How better can you do it? How smart can you be? It takes a very, very ancient mind to figure out how to do a thing like this. So I'm not going to make this very long eulogy today. I've really said all I want to say. I don't need to keep repeating myself to make my point. Thank you. So as an evangelist, whoever killed him wanted to divide evangelical Christians from Jews and the state of Israel. I want to make that point. I think it's very important that you hear me. A very important point. And now I'm going to that you may never heard of. We read him in college when you're still reading books, philosophy, and poetry. I remember he was very popular at a kid, 18 years old. I never read poetry before him. His name was Khalil Gibran. He was a Christian Arab from Lebanon. And I read what he had to write about day. Listen to it for a moment. The owl whose night-bound eyes are of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. Life and death are one, and as the river and the sea are one. For what is it to die but to stand in the wind and to melt on sun? For he's breathing, but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered. Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. Then you shall begin to climb, and when the earth claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Thank you for listening. I'm Michael Savage. A memorial to the righteous memory of Charlie Kirk. I'll go around and repeat some of the beginning without the Kahel Gibran. He was a godly force for millions. He brought young people together in their desire for a new nation, a nation of love, compassion, and strength. And he was taken from the world as a martyr. But never forget his love for Jesus and Christianity, because Jesus and Christianity were the furnace, and his love for his fellow man were his arrows. I'll close by giving you the super political point, which is that he was an evangelist who loved Israel, incidentally, and whoever killed him wanted to divide evangelical Christians from Jews by blaming Israel for his assassination, and therefore weakened the state of Israel. Followed it all the way back to the Gulf money. Thank you very much for listening.